It was good, geez. So we had have a little upgrade. So we get to play around with Infinity here. And way back there is where I am. But I'm piloting this avatar here, right? So I think that was a cool example. Let's talk about science. Let's talk about string theory, right? As science tries to get to the hard thing, the physical matter, right? Because we're mostly space, right? They're trying to figure out what makes up this reality. And one of the things as they dig down deeper and deeper, they use things like the Large Hadron Collider, which is an underground accelerator, a particle accelerator. So they send particles, the smallest bits of matter that they can find, and they send them around in this accelerator that's made of these magnetic coils that keep it from touching the sides. Spin it around at fast speeds, bang it into each other, and then they see what pops out, right? And then what pops out are these particles, and then they measure these, and they say, oh, well, we thought that this was the smallest thing, and we bang two of these together, and all of this stuff pops out, right? And what are these things? And they only last for, fractions of a second, whatever, right? You can look all this stuff up. But they're saying that at the core of this reality is a 12-dimensional stringy thing, right? But scientists haven't had the awareness that the reason this reality isn't going to, if you want to study string theory, that's fine. But eventually you won't be able to because humanity's going to self-destruct. So who has the forethought to work on that problem? And I talk to scientists about this, and they can list out all of the problems of the world, but they aren't working on any of them. It's like we're aware of the issue, but we're not working on it. The reason the world isn't better or we're not in a peaceful society isn't because we haven't mastered what's going on in string theory. They're still looking for the billiard balls model of reality, right? They don't even know who the scientist is, right? Spirituality is nothing but science, just expanded to the scientist, the being who was doing the measurement, who was looking at these strings vibrating in 12 dimensions, right? That is what changes the world, not understanding this thing. Because even at that level, even if it's just an on-off switch, right? We're not going to be able to find, if you're looking for the simulation, we're not going to be able to find the computer that it's placed on. I'm not going to be able to show you and say, hey, this is the simulation that we're running on, right? Just like in a video game, I can't show you the PlayStation that it's running on. So at some point, there's going to be a level of we're not going to know, right? We're not going to be able to prove definitively. So in the meantime, while we're in whatever this is, what can we do to make it a better experience for ourselves, right? Especially when we see things in the future that are detrimental to the species as a whole, Instead of looking at things on the micro level, let's look at things at the macro level. Let's start with ourselves, and then let's look at what we can do as a collective. And then we can focus on the things that really bring us joy and things of that nature. But that is a fruitless exercise, whatever you enjoy, in a world where we destroy ourselves. So spirituality has answers for that, and asks the questions that science doesn't look at, the hard questions, the hard things, such as consciousness. So just kind of wanted to talk through that, trying not to make these too long. We'll kind of do more of this. And while I got you, supposedly there's 40K people that follow, right? And some of y'all I follow as well. And I'm the leader of a leaderless movement, right? So we're about empowering ourselves. Same light within me, same light within you, right? And we'll get into that later, but this is just the science part of it, because there's tools in science that are used to make profit, that are used to make businesses money, and are used to make processes more efficient. They use these all the time, Lean, Six Sigma, things of that nature, using data and statistics, right? We can use those things that are beneficial. Companies wouldn't do it if it wasn't beneficial, if it didn't make money, if it didn't make profit for their shareholders and the bottom line. We can use those same tools to help ourselves on a larger scale, humanity, right? Those same methodologies work. We just have to expand them and stop being pigeonholed and limited and siloed in our different compartmentalizations that we're in, and expand our mind and what we can do. Sometimes we think that the options are just the options in front of us. We can create new options, right? All right, y'all, went a little long, but the question I was going to ask the people, that's why I mentioned the people, is for the event. I'm leaning more towards a virtual event because I think there's going to be multiple introductions to myself, to this reality on a whole. And there's the backstory, but this is going to be more of the public aspect. So I'm thinking of doing more of a virtual thing just to get a wider span. But I do want to do physical events as well, because I think there's something to the energy that can be felt in a physical room, because there's things that are happening on an energetic level that can't be broadcast through digital means. You have to be in the space, right, in the realm. So what are your thoughts on that? digital for 827 event or physical. Because right now it's still going to be the introduction phase. And there's going to be multiple introductions until people really understand what I'm about, what I'm trying to get to. And there's no script, so this is all being created as we go. We're making history as we go. So this is the story of how we went from a path of self-destruction to a path of a type 1 civilization, or to get to where our reality is do what you love, get what you love. Trying to make that as simple as possible. So from whatever we call this to reality where you do what you love, get what you love. That's the future, that's the vision. And how we get there is the problem that we're here to solve. All right, y'all.